Hi everybody. I'm glad the lights are right in my eyes so I can see you. I unfortunately did not have a month to prepare for this at all, so I've been churning my brain for the last 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about college because that was the most recent thing that happened, and all the binge drinking and head trauma hasn't wiped it from my memory yet. So in college, freshman year, I went to Appalachian State University. Woo, class of 2007. I lived in there were two pairs of dorms. They were sister dorms, and the rooms were the size of small coffins. But they stuck two people in there because what's the fun of just putting one person in a coffin when you can put two? They were connected by a series of lobbies and an atrium. It was very fancy. There was one lobby that was better than the other lobby. So very quickly, me and several other people started to congregate there, and we became fast friends and dictated that this was our lobby. Nobody else could have the lobby. We wouldn't share. And we were pretty much there 24/7. From, as soon as the first person was out of their first class, there they would be in front of because it had a big screen TV and a kind of a stadium set of seats. And we would sit there and watch TV, we would bring down movies, we'd play video games, because that's what, teenagers with all this free time do together. And I remember one particular evening when another little subset of people who hadn't quite become friends with our group, but had, decided to infiltrate and were going to mark their territory, and they were going to use that TV, by God. And though some grumbled, others were like, oh, whatever, let's watch these movies. And they brought to light movies I have never seen and probably will never see hence from now. But in particular, this evening was an old Peter Jackson double feature. It was Meet the Feebles and Dead Alive, which, yes, one person knows, Dead Alive. Both of these films were made early on in his career when he was still in New Zealand. They are low budget, but well executed. All the money clearly went into stage blood and props and mangled corpses, and in the case of Meet the Feebles, puppets. So Meet the Feebles is kind of an interesting criticism of the Hollywood system. Meet the Feebles is a variety show, and the population of this world are animal puppets. And they range from small to quite large. They're like the boss of the stage show is a giant walrus who is married to the stage star, a hippo, but he's having an affair with a Siamese cat. So there's a scene where, good times. But everybody's supposed to be so happy and really upbeat. But behind the scenes, there's blackmail, there's prostitution, there's an S&M snuff film going on in the basement. One of the stars has AIDS, and he's trying to hide it from the paparazzi, and it's just vomit and blood and milk and gross. But to follow that up with Dead Alive, imagine a giant pustule. It's red, it's yellow, it's a little green, and when you squeeze it, it explodes. This is that movie. The plot of the movie is a gentleman is living with his overbearing mother, and one day she goes to the zoo, and they have this odd Sumatran monkey rat that is actually a zombie rat. And it gets a hold of her, chomps a bit out of her, and she goes home just pissed off, but then becomes a zombie. And he's trying to hide her in the house. Meanwhile, the neighbors think he's killed her, and the girl that he likes, but he had to stay away from because his mother's so overbearing and evil, she's trying to help, and then it just spreads. And more zombies, a priest becomes a zombie, a nurse becomes a zombie, they have sex on the dining room table and have a zombie baby. It's very gushy and gross and snotty, because it's not even just corn syrup blood, it is kind of orange tinted, and it oozes down the walls, and when it splays, it kind of has like a bat wing that kind of stretches across the room. So we're watching these films, and I'm feeling a little queasy, but having a good time, And as is wont to happen, because this is an open space, there are people walking back and forth behind us, behind the seats, through the hallway, and it's open, so they can see and hear everything. And one particular gentleman is stumbling in. He's had a long night, has imbibed quite a bit. He takes one look at the screen, and it's a particular, this is like at the climax of Dead Alive, where it is a lawnmower and just, you know, plowing through a crowd of zombies, limbs and spines and blood and eyeballs everywhere. He takes one look at that very delightful scene and horks right into my friend's lap. And without missing a beat, that friend stands up and just cold cocks him right in the face. And then the nightcap guy comes running down the hall because he hears the commotion. The gentleman who puked is laid out in the floor. And thankfully, I don't think he remembered anything the next day, and he probably wondered how he got the black eye. But my friend's, you know, pants were ruined. They were pretty gross. And that pretty much encapsulated most of my 5 years of college. It was just a different location, a different person puking, and another film to learn and love. Thank you.